Today, we're taking our first real look at the Monolith schematic, clearing out massive space with TNT, and we're breaking down the ridiculous amount of materials this thing is gonna take. Spoiler alert, it's a lot. Stay tuned for this episode of Modded Minecraft. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are getting dangerously close to building our monolith. So last time we had, we started clearing, blasting a hole down there for where we're going to put it. And right now we have our sheep going, we have the concrete going, and then I also managed to get a bunch of deep slate with this. We're working on cobble right now, so we can keep getting TNT, turning that into gunpowder over there. But I think we are ready to at least see what our material needs are going to be. So if we look up a schematic, okay, so there is a blank schematic, and we'll take our blank schematic onto here. Megabuild, monolith. Check. And you can see it's got to think for quite some time here, just because of the sheer scale. And there we have it. Schematic. Okay. Now this thing is absolutely massive. So we can kind of see the area that we're going to need. And let's say right here, I guess. Oh boy. Okay. We'll take a step back here. So yeah, this is pretty big. We're going to need to do some adjusting. So we want it to be down, kind of like this. And then we'll go back to here. We'll want to rotate like so. Push it in that direction a little bit. I'm essentially trying to line up the front entrance with this right here. So maybe a few more blocks. Okay, I think that's good. I might push it back once. I'm gonna want to bring this up a little bit. And I think that's looking pretty awesome. Just there. I guess we could push it back further. That's probably a good idea. Push you back to be there-ish. Kind of lines up with the hole that we started blowing up here. Probably push it back even further. So yes, it's very large. And there's a lot of like these wood panels or these, I forget exactly what they're called, but you can essentially just click a block and it'll have that texture of the block. So you don't actually need every single block, and it lets you do angles and such. So this is, it's not going to have all that wood on it when we're done. That's kind of just the, I guess, scaffolding, if you will. But you can get a pretty good idea of the scale of this thing from here. So like even if we go back down this way, yeah, I mean, it's going to be towering above everything else. But that's exactly what we wanted. And you can see why now that we've had to build all these farms just to prepare for this. So yeah, that is good. I'm going to go ahead and come over here. And we are going to go and grab our cannon. I'll plop that down just right here, I suppose. And we'll click on you. Schematic. And checklist. Boom. Okay. We officially are now going to be able to see the sheer number of resources that we're going to need for this. So, black concrete, 2,600. Stained glass, 200. Black wool, 700. And you can just see the crazy amount of resources. Framed blocks, that's what they are. But yeah, I mean, look at that. We need almost 3,000 framed slopes. So yeah, this is just going to be quite an insane build. Now that we have our farms in place, we've put the schematic down and we know what we need. I am essentially just going to be kind of running around taking care of things here and there while our farms are going. We actually might be close to the concrete. We have 1,800 of it. So we might have like half. But I do have the concrete going down here. And we already have a ton more. So that part shouldn't be too bad. Imagine having to do that by hand. And then for our wool's not quite as fast as the concrete. And we don't need as much of it, but I do wish it was a bit faster. So maybe if we get kind of impatient, maybe we can just do things the old-fashioned way and just build like a big field full of sheep, like a temporary thing, and shear them that way. That could kind of supplement our stuff instead of just having this run in the background. But we'll have that. And then I'm going to be kind of running to and fro from my digital miner here. I really need to be making sure I'm staying on top of this so we have enough gunpowder to make even more TNT so we can fill out a good hole in there. And then I need deep slate, which I think I have somewhere, 1,800 of it. So yeah, a lot of this is just going to be me kind of housekeeping sort of stuff and checking up on the farms. So I'm going to skip ahead to if something interesting happens or we kind of hit like a milestone. Like if we fill out one of these things, if we finish the concrete, boom, I'll bring you in for that sort of stuff. But other than that, I'm just going to be doing some resource gathering here. And I don't think we're going to be building it in this episode. I don't think. But we're going to be making our progress towards it still. So that's what matters. Just a little bit at a time. So anyways, I will see you all in just a bit here. All right. So I've just put in a ton of concrete into here. So we're going to go ahead and try and update our checklist. And if we take a look, there it is, black concrete. We have all that we need. So that is perfect. Next, we'll need white concrete. And we'll probably have to do that by hand. Oh, actually, we could just throw in the white dye into there and then just kind of shut off the the black dye side. And then just manually put in white dye over there. That could work. But yeah, so that was a big portion done there. Look at this one though. Smooth stone. 4,000. Ooh. Why did I do this to myself? I think that's what I'm gonna work on next, so wish me luck. Okay. It is raining, but I've managed to whip up another batch of TNT here. So we can go ahead and, blow up another layer. So let's see, the middle is here-ish. And yeah, we'll just go around and do the same thing as last time. Except we're not going to go all the way to the edge. We're going to start kind of like tapering in. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. We didn't go as heavy-handed as our first round. But this should be plenty of TNT still. And a rough circle shape. So let's grab our flint and steel and light this sucker up. So here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. All right. Chain reaction. Oh, I guess we need to make them a bit more dense. All right. So we might want to go a bit more dense again, because that wasn't really the effect I was looking for. Yeah, so let's pack these in a bit more tight this time around. This is looking like it's going to be a much bigger explosion this time. Hopefully. Okay. Yeah, let's see how this does. So we'll grab a few of you guys, and up we go. There we go. Much better. They didn't all quite catch, but that's okay. That was a lot better than our first round. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. Maybe we'll try and take out these like higher parts here. If we can. Yeah. Okay, let's see what this does for us. We're just blowing stuff up today. Okay, that's pretty good. The dirt is kind of in my way. We'll just keep going, I suppose. I think we're making some good progress here. Nice. It just gets launched everywhere. Okay, that was several stacks worth, but I mean, we made some good progress with that hole. I think at this point we can kind of, I want to taper it down a little bit here. So let me go to fast. And then I just kind of want to start bringing in these like rough edges a little bit. I think that's looking pretty good. And then I did grab some magma blocks. Probably not enough, but to kind of dot around in here. And then we'll mix in some like maybe some like black stone or something. But this will just give us like a little bit of light coming off here, like it's molten and hot, and you know, this thing kind of just crashed into the earth and settled down. There we go. I think that's a good start. And then if we have any lava, which we do, perfect. Some there, just kind of towards the bottom here, I'm thinking. And like that. I think that's going to end up giving us kind of a cool effect. Not that we're really going to see it that often, but just to have that kind of glow down there. I think that's going to be really cool. Yeah, that's the start of that. We need to go get a bunch of black stone from the nether. And we could use a bunch of cobbled deep slate too, to throw in down there, which probably work nicely. Yeah, we'll get a mix of different materials here, deep slate, black stone, and we'll start preparing even further here, our kind of landing spot or our crash pad. So I'll be right back. All right. So I did go ahead and I collected some basalt or basalt, whatever you want to call it. We have a few polished and then smooth. And then we do have plenty of this cobbled deep slate that we can use down in there. But I don't think we're going to do that right now. Or actually, I've been still grinding away here. And if we take a look at our chart here, we need 83 blocks of iron. We have 61, so we're close. And then we will need, let's see. Here we go. Smooth stone, we want that also. 4,048. So if we look here, smooth stone, we have 5,000. So we'll just take as much of this as we can. So we should have about 1,000 left in storage once we're done filling these up. I'm really glad we have tons of machines to help us out with this sort of stuff, because oh my god, especially that concrete, that would have stunk to try and do that like with just regular furnaces. Could you imagine? Luckily, we've got our super duper like ultra smelter in there. So there we go. A full double chest of smooth stone. We also managed to knock out our white concrete. So if we look here, we can see white concrete, we need 159. So we have more than enough. So 159, that's 120. Let's do 3 stacks. I don't know if this like corner chest is gonna count. We'll find out here. Okay, so we got those put in our checklist. Do. And if we take a look, now we only need 22 more blocks of iron. And let's go and see, did it detect our, oh, it says we don't have enough smooth stone still, really? And it doesn't count the concrete in this like adjacent one. So we're gonna have to move this. We might have to build this in like phases almost, because I think they have to be like right next to it or touching it. So now if we put our concrete in and our checklist, that should count it. Yep, so now it counts it, white concrete. But it still says we need 1700 smooth stone. I don't know if that's right or not, but we will grab the smooth stone we have left. It said we had 5,000 and we needed 4,000. So I don't know. That's all of our smooth stone. And smooth stone still says we need 763. So weird. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I guess we can do 700 more. But yeah, that's a lot of resources. So many resources. But I am unfortunately running out of time, and I don't want to go like a whole nother week without posting. So we'll keep this video short, but we are making progress. We know, at least we have a little preview of what the monolith is going to look like, so that's pretty sweet. And then we started clearing out kind of a crater for it, so that's going to be awesome. And we'll fill that in with all the basalt and deep slate and stuff, so it'll look super cool. And we did tons of the like major resources. So that's a big step also. But for now, I'm going to leave things there. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you stay tuned to see the completion of the monolith. It's going to be so cool. And then we'll be able to build our SPS chamber as well as the, what is it called? Induction matrix, I think. So we can store like essentially an infinite amount of power, which, whew, that'll be nice. But yeah, I thank you all so much for watching, and I will plan on seeing you next time. If you like this, like the video, and if you have any ideas, thoughts, anything like that, feel free to drop it in the comments. Oh, last thing before I go here. Um, Once we're done with our big like monolith project here, I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break from Valhelsia and then working on the 100-day episodes, or 100-day videos, episodes, whatever you want to call them. Look forward to that, but we'll keep plugging away here to finish what we started. But yeah, see you next time. Thanks so much.